Things. Oh, hey, come on in. There we are. Hey, come on in. So, which one's Abby and which one's
I'm Abby.
Jessica. Jessica, welcome. So, you all going to need to get on the computer and show me anything?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you have a site that you need to get. Well, you all can do that, but I'm recording.
Great.
So, we have some students that said they couldn't be here today. We have for various reasons, and so we always record and let people.
Absolutely.
So I'll let you all turn it over. So we've got Abby and Jessica with us today from Study Abroad. They're going to talk to you for about 30-ish minutes or so about study abroad topics, and then we'll finish up the class and be done with it. So welcome. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Let me get out of your way.
Good morning, guys. How's it going? Good. Okay. Let's get this.
So we got a class full of freshmen, sophomore?
Mostly fresh.
Freshmen, okay.
Jess, where is it? I actually don't know.
And then what?
Where is it?
Okay,
I never found it.
it's okay. I think it's.
What majors do we have in here?
These are chemistry and biochemistry.
Chemistry. Great. Perfect.
Wonderful.
Very exciting.
Okay. See if we can get presentation mode here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, like you said, we are from the Office of Study Abroad. So we always like to start off and ask, have you guys heard about study abroad? Yes, you're saying that like, yes, I've heard about it a lot, which is great. Years ago when I started this in this office, I would come to classes, I'd ask that question, and people would not say yes. So I hope we're doing our job right and you guys are learning about us, because that's important, because we want to make sure you are aware of your opportunities while you're here at Southern Miss to study abroad, and kind of maybe dispel any myths or barriers that you have up about studying abroad, and show you that study abroad is for you, right? But let's start at the very first place and discuss what exactly is study abroad. Do you guys have any ideas you can throw out at me about what study abroad is? Yes.
Studying in like different cultures.
You're on the right track.
Keep going.
Studying in like different countries.
Yes.
And getting like to know different cultures.
Certainly. Yes. Studying in different
Absolutely.
countries, getting to know different cultures. Yes.
What else?
I know it's 8 a.m. I'm sorry, y'all. But come on. You can give me something.
I guess earning college credits at another university inside of a different country.
Okay. Earning college credit, that's key. Okay, we've just about got it all there.
Yeah.
So what we like to call study abroad is earning, and especially here at Southern Miss, right? You're earning USM credit that you need and being able to travel the world. And of course, when you're traveling, you're exposing yourself to different cultures. Even if you're right here in the U.S., we're filled with all sorts of culture. And so going to a different country is definitely going to expose you to some new things, right? So we're here to tell you a little bit more about why you should study abroad, the benefits of studying abroad, and how you can actually take those first steps to make it work for you. So let's start with the types of programs that we have to offer.
So first up are going to be our faculty-led programs. So essentially, you are going somewhere with USM faculty and USM students. In some cases, some students from other universities as well. But you're going with USM faculty, and they are going with you to whichever location you're going to. And they either teach you some in a more experiential way, meaning that you won't be sitting in a classroom listening to your USM professor, but you will be out and about in the city in which you are a resident of for that time that you're there, and you are meeting industry professionals in the area of study that you're going to get that credit from. So some of those examples are going to be our 2-week programs, and these are the ones that we usually have on rotation every year. So music in Vienna, Galapagos and the Honors Abroad program. So if you are in honors, there is an honors-specific program that goes in the January intersession. So that would be a good option if you are in honors. This specific year, next year, we do have the Music in Vienna program, which is music education. And it's always a really popular class. And then this summer, we are also offering Church and State, which is in Rome. And it's political science credit. And then we are offering a Hawaiian adventure to where you can get either business or history credit while you are in Hawaii. And in all of these programs, it's that case where you've got a USM professor taking you out and about in that city or country and showing you the significant areas, meeting significant people in the area in which you're getting credit for. Then taking it one step further is our 4-week programs. So the largest and longest running 4-week program that we have is the British Studies program. So this is a month living in London, and we usually have around 120 students, and we are offering 9 different courses. So if you are interested in the British Studies program, you would choose one of those 9 different courses and earn 6 hours of credit in that course. And with the British Studies program, we partner with the University of Westminster, and you stay in the dorms. All faculty, staff, and students stay in a dorm together, and it's central London. So you are a couple of tube stops away from pretty much anything that's on your London bucket list. And then you are out and about with your professors. The cool thing about British Studies is most of our professors rarely have actual classroom time. You are actually out there meeting people that if you went to London, you wouldn't have access to on your own. So our professors have really dug deep into getting those connections there in London. So it is very specific to the credit that you're getting, but it's also very special because, like I said, you're getting access to things that you normally wouldn't. So then if you are a language minor, I guess in your case, we do offer 4-week programs in the summer for our language speakers. So if you do have a minor in Spanish or French, this is a good way to pretty much knock out half of your credits that you need for that minor. So you could either go to Cadiz, Spain, which is in the south of Spain, or you can go spend a month in Paris, France. The best way to learn languages is really immersion. Getting in there when you have to order something to eat in a different language, you're going to learn how to speak that language pretty quickly. So these both are really great options. Again, you're earning that 6 hours of credit in either language that you need that credit in.
Yeah. And most of the time, those programs are offered during the summer, but we do have some intersession, like in the January intersession programs available. But next up, we're going to talk about semester-long programs. So we talked about faculty-led and it being a group activity-based, right, type program. So now we're going to take that a step further and go for a little bit longer of a period and go for a semester. And that's what we have here for you. So we have our Chateau program, which is really designed for freshmen and sophomores to go in the spring semester. And you're going to earn credit in French, and then this year it is history credit. Sometimes we offer literature. It just kind of changes back and forth. And you're going to live in a chateau, which if you don't know is a castle, for 10 weeks in France. And you'll spend a week in Paris as your introduction to the program, and then you're going to spend the rest of your time in Strasbourg, France, which is right on the border of France and Germany, so it has a really unique culture of the city changing between the two countries over the time. And it's just a really cool experience. Again, you're there with USM students and faculty, and really getting to explore what it's like to live in this country, live life in a chateau, and earn that USM credit that you need. And so that's really great for all sorts of majors. So if that's something of interest to you, maybe next year, if that still fits into your academic plan, that's something to consider if you want to do something a little bit different for your semester while here at USM. And then we also have our semester in Spain program, but this is going to be geared more towards Spanish majors and minors, but majors more so because you're going to earn 12 credit hours of Spanish, and it's going to be a little more immersive in that Spanish language. So that might be something you're interested in, maybe not, but definitely keep it in mind. And that one runs in the fall semester. So we currently have students in Spain right now on this program, which we're really excited about because it is our first program abroad since 2020. So we're excited that they're there and having a really great time. And then we also have student teaching abroad. If any of you were in education working toward getting your student teaching, that would be something you could do outside of USM. And then so semester programs, like I said, is going to be faculty with you, you're with a group, right? Well, we're going to take that and make it a little more independent of experience and transition that into an exchange program. Have you guys heard of exchange? It tends to be like what's in movies, the foreign exchange student, and stuff like that. Well, in this instance, you would become the foreign exchange student, okay? And we have partners all over, primarily in Europe, but we do have one in Peru. And you can do this either if you're looking for, okay, I need my classes to be in English. We have plenty of English-speaking partners that you can go to. And it's great for a range of majors. So this might be something that you're interested in because what's great about exchange is that, whereas on semester programs, it's here are the courses offered and you take those courses. On an exchange, you're going to one of our partner universities. So just like you made your schedule here for this semester, you would do the same thing there, see what all they have to offer, build your schedule, and then make sure that those match up with courses here at USM, and then get that substitution so you're still earning USM credit even though you're at one of our partner institutions, okay? So just keep that in mind. But this is going to be a little more independent experience. You might be there with one or two USM students. You might be the only USM student going. So this tends to be good for students in their later sophomore year or junior year, even possibly senior year, just depending on how things are working out for you. And then, of course, we do offer this option for folks who are trying to extend upon their foreign language skills in various areas. So just keep this in mind, in the back of your mind. If you're one of those who really want to go on an experience, kind of more independently earn classes to check off those boxes you need on your degree plan, that maybe is a little more challenging to fit one of our programs, this could be a really good opportunity. And we're going to speak more about finances in just a little bit, but keep in mind semester programs and finances work really well, and we'll get into that. And then, of course, we have internships.
Yep, so a lot of majors do insist that you have internship credit. And so this is a great way to make yourself stand out from all of your fellow potential competitors, if you will, when you're looking to get a job post-graduation. So we do offer an internship program in the summer, and it is 8 weeks. Right now, our partner that we partner with, their host city is Dublin. And so you would go with a group. We tend to have a pretty good small-sized group that does this program, so you would all live together, but then in the morning you would all disperse to your various internships. So our partner really takes what industry you need your internship in. If there's a specific type of company that you're looking to internship with, they take that and then try to place you in one of their business partners there in Dublin and get you as close to the credit that you need and get you into that position where ultimately you're expanding your network, and any of these individuals could be your future employer or a really good recommendation on your resume moving forward. The good thing about international internships is not everybody does it. And so if you're looking for a really good way to stand out for a future employer, it's going to be an international internship program. Not only are you getting that business credit, that business experience that is going to help with your resume, but it also shows your employer that you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, that you're willing to interact and work with people who are different from you. So this is a really unique opportunity that has really benefited students in the past.
Yeah, and a lot of times we have students who say, I can't study abroad. I've got to do an internship this summer. So, we've are able to provide you both things in one, to where you get to, go abroad, but also earn that credit that you need for your internship. I will say this program is not on the books for 2022, but we are fully anticipating it being back for 2023. It's just because of some of the restrictions that we're still facing in the pandemic, just it doesn't quite fit, but we are certainly working to bring this back for 2023, and so hopefully that can still work for you guys. Okay, so now we've given you an overview of what types of programs we have to offer you while here at USM. And now we're just going to tell you a little bit more as to why you should take us up on our offer and study abroad. So of course, we mentioned USM credit, right? That's something that we want to break down the barrier that doing study abroad is, it's going to take you off your degree plan. It's going to keep you off track, But we just want to remind you that that's not the case. For most people, you're still earning that USM credit and you're checking off some box on your degree plan, whether that's electives or major credits that you need. So just know that this can fit into your plan while you're here at USM. And then, of course, if you want to learn a new language, this is definitely the way to do it. Why don't you speak to that?
Enhance your resume. We just talked about this. Great opportunity. Even if you chose not to do an internship, you're still showing your employer that you are willing and able to get out there. And regardless, you're going to be interacting with people who are different from you. So that's always going to be an easy plug into your resume.
Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times in your interviews with employers, they like to ask, tell me about a time in which you overcame a challenge or you had to problem solve. I guarantee you can pull from your study abroad experience in order to answer that question. So, it even helps you get through things like that. And that builds to your personal life of experience. And then, of course, you're going to make new and lifelong friends. So don't forget that study abroad is also fun. It's a really fun experience to get out and meet people, the people you're in class with, or the people you'll meet at your partner institution. And it's just a great way to build your network. I mean, how cool would it be to say, I've got friends in Australia and in Ireland and, all over. That's an opportunity that can really open up to you. And then making friends right here at USM that you wouldn't have met otherwise because maybe your paths never crossed, but you can certainly do that with study abroad.
We know this may sound a little cheesy,
Yeah.
but trust me, if you are living with somebody for two weeks to potentially 4 weeks to a full semester, you get to know each other really well. So you really do. We just had a group come back from Hawaii this summer, and they all were like, okay, I know you said this before, but no, really. Like, these are going to be people that I still keep in contact with, and I will be keeping in contact with for forever. So it's cheesy, but it's true.
It is. Yes, we're a little cliche, but what can we do? And then, of course, exposing yourself to a new culture, right? So it's really cool to be able to step outside of your own bubble, right? And see how things are done elsewhere. And recognizing that it's not wrong, but it's different. And really reflecting on those differences. And maybe there's something that you can bring into your lifestyle, from these experiences. Something else we've noticed about students going on these experiences is that, okay, yes, you've exposed yourself to a new culture, you've learned different ways that they interact and do things, but then you also get to take a second and reflect on your own culture. How often do you sit and think about what is your culture, right? Because we're just always in the motion of doing things and it's just normal, but yet it is something specific to you. So it's a really cool way to reflect on others, but also on yourself. And then, of course, you get to travel, right?
So where are some places that you guys want to go?
Yeah.
Like when you say, like if somebody asked you, bucket list.
Right.
What is your bucket list place to go to?
Nowhere? Y'all want to be in Hattiesburg forever?
Where you want to go?
It can be U.S. based too. It doesn't have to be international. Japan,
Great,
yes.
Great. Where else?
Turks and
Turks and
queso. Okay, I'm right there with you on that. That's great.
Where else?
Italy, yes.
Yes. That's on my list.
Eat across Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can help with some of those.
Yes. But the great thing about our programs is I don't know about you, but a lot of our students here at USM, this is the first time they've ever had the opportunity to travel. It just wasn't possible previously, right? And this is a lot of people's first time on an airplane, going abroad, leaving family for an extensive period of time. And that's okay. That's why these programs are here, is to offer you that opportunity. And we fully prepare you prior to your departure. So if you're someone who's really nervous about, I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, this stresses me out, don't worry, we're going to fully prepare you, and you're going to have contacts, whether you're there on a program with a group of people or going on an international exchange program that's a little more independent, you're still going to have support on site and back here in Hattiesburg, so we make sure that you're okay. So if it does seem a little scary to you, just know that we're going to get you prepared and ready to go prior to your departure, and then we're going to have you all sorted and supported while you're on site. So keep that in mind. If that is something that's like, oh, I just don't know about this, we're going to get you taken care of. All of our students are enrolled in with the U.S. Department of State STEP plan, as it's called. It's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. And so that way, our government knows where you are. So in the event of a natural disaster or anything happens, there's a record of you being abroad. And then in addition to that, all of our students are covered in international health care. So if you get sick or hurt while you're abroad, you'll be taken care of, okay? So just know that our primary concern is always your health and safety, and we do everything we can to make sure that you have the safest, healthiest, and best experience while with us on our programs. Okay, so we're going to get into the when. Do we have any questions up to this point? We're doing good? Okay. So when is really up to you. We have students who study abroad from freshman year through graduate school. So it really just kind of depends what fits best for your academic plan. So we always encourage that you talk with your academic advisor, and then as well as set up an appointment with us in the office and start discussing that now, because if it's something that you need to do soon, then we can help you achieve that goal. But if it's something you need to plan for later, then we can of course help you schedule that in the right time. And then what's the next steps that students need to take?
Okay, so like Jess just said, number one is going to be come meet with us. So we will sit down with you and figure out what credits do you need, what are you looking to gain from this experience? Is it getting actual major credit, or is it going someplace, and if you really like history, you really want to learn about the history of London, seeing that can check off some of your upper level elective hours that all USM students need. So you'll meet with us, we'll talk through it, we'll also look at your scholarships and financial aid. So we'll break down the cost of whichever program you decide that you want to proceed with, and we will look at your finances. And I promise when we start looking at that, it definitely becomes more affordable. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then from there, you go and apply for the program that you need. So all of our programs can be found on our website, studyabroad.usm.edu. And each of our programs has a different brochure on there. And in that brochure is a nice big button that says apply now. So you'll press that, and then you'll log in with your SOAR account. When you log in with your SOAR account, half of your application's already done. So it's really great. You'll have to sign a couple of waivers, pay our application fee, and then you're in. So that is the easy kind of step-by-step how to just go ahead and start this process. And then from there, we will guide you all the way through coming back to the U.S.
Yep. And every program is a little bit different depending on what it is, but there are different eligibility. But for most of our programs, eligibility is having a 2.25 GPA, and then having at least 12 hours completed here at USM, or in the time in which you would be going if you're a freshman, and then not being on academic probation, right? So it's a pretty accessible eligibility process. Exchange programs might have a little bit higher GPA, but just keep that in mind that it's accessible to you. And then always the big question is financial aid, right? So how on earth are you going to pay for this? It's too expensive. You can't afford it. That tends to be all the things that we always hear. But then when we sit down one-on-one, we find that it actually is affordable and available to you. So Abby does a lot of advising with students and goes over financial aid, and I'll let you speak a little more about that.
Yeah, so the first thing to know and to realize and to get is that studying abroad is made for students, first and foremost. If you're not a student, you can't go on it. So it's made for you. So there are definitely ways in which we can lower the overall cost for you. On our website, each program has a budget sheet, and we have just upgraded a new system, and this budget sheet can now be customizable to you personally. So you, at the top, will see billable items, and that's going to be your application fee, and then USM tuition. USM sets that as whatever you would normally pay, so that will be there. And then you've got program fees. Each of our programs are going to range with what those program fees are. But the program fees are going to cover your housing, any transportation that you need to do while you're in class, but also on your personal time. That's international health insurance, just mentioned earlier. So anything that is course related is going to be covered in that program fees. And then in most cases, you can opt into a group flight option that we offer. So all of those are going to be your billable items, which means all of those will be applied to your SOAR account. So just like you pay a bill every fall and spring to USM, this will come in just like your regular bill. So you will have it on your SOAR, and then you'll see if you have any financial aid or scholarships that are applicable to the time in which you are going abroad. It is applicable to these programs. Remember, it's USM credit. If you are an out-of-state student, this is even better for you because you're paying USM in-state tuition. So all of this, keep in mind that all of these things are applicable. So if you don't have scholarships that are applicable during the summer, which a lot of our programs are in the summer, so if you don't have anything specific to the summer, that's okay. We've got scholarships that you can apply for. The biggest one to remember is if you are Pell Grant eligible, there's the Gilman Scholarship that has 2 cycles, a fall cycle and a spring cycle, and it's worth up to $5,000 to study abroad. That doesn't mean you'll get $5,000, but it's up to $5,000. And USM has a really good track record of students getting that scholarship. So that is a great opportunity that we always really try to encourage students to apply for. On top of that, in the GO system, there are institutional study abroad, specific scholarships that are available for you to apply for. And then taking that a step further, there are nationally competitive study abroad specific scholarships as well. So there are opportunities. Yes, you have to apply for them. Yes, that can take a minute to do so, but it's there for you if you choose to apply for them. But then from there are grants, there are loans that obviously we can look into if that's a route that you're wanting to go as well.
And you received a scholarship card earlier, and so there's tons of information about scholarships available to you to apply for there. So definitely you have access to the money. You can apply that money toward the cost of these programs, and it's really great if you come in, sit down one-on-one, and we can discuss this specific to you because it helps a little bit more to make sure that we're getting you taken care of for each nickel and dime that's on that budget sheet. All right, so this about concludes us, but we always like to do a little shameless plug and ask you to follow us on Instagram. And so we do lots of things on Instagram. Are you guys on Instagram first off? Yes. Okay, good. And so you can find us at Study Abroad USM. And we do all sorts of things with students who are abroad. They take over our account to share information about these types of scholarships and when deadlines are coming. We even do some contests and things and giveaways, and maybe you can earn money toward the cost of your program. We do that every now and again. We have International Education Week coming up in November, which we'll be doing tons of things around campus, and there's going to be a photo contest happening, and it's definitely going to have a grand prize of some money toward your 2022 program. So keep that in mind if that's something that you're interested in. Let's see, it's 8:30 on the dot. Do we have a couple more minutes to play a little game? Okay.
Give you a couple, sure.
Okay. We'll do just a fun little game. Do you guys have your phones? I know you do, right? And if you have Instagram, it's up today. It went down the other day. I know we all know it. So we're going to play a little scavenger hunt game. And so if you find us on Instagram, Study Abroad USM, and follow us. Yes, shameless, we know. And then we're going to have a scavenger hunt. We'll pop up a photo. We'll do a little test round in a second. And then the first person to find whatever this image is, like image, on our Instagram feed, you raise your hand with your phone in your hand, and then we'll give you a little treat. Yeah. So are you guys ready? This is the example, okay? So, for example, we'll pop up a picture of Seymour, and then you don't have to find this exact picture, right? You just got to find a picture of Seymour. First person to do it, remember to raise your phone in the air, yes, and then you would win, okay? So we'll do just a few rounds of this, maybe wake y'all up just a little bit. Okay, ready? Find a photo of ice cream.
Yay.
Oh, there we go. Very good.
see ice cream. I'm still scrolling.
You found it. Very good. Perfect. Keep. There you go. Yep. Okay, we got another. Here we go. Find a photo of a phone booth. Oh, I saw some quick ones here. She got it too, Abby.
There are a lot of ties there.
I know. See, you're getting the hang of it now. It all counts. They're stuck together. Very good. Perfect. Yes, right here in the front. Okay. Let her get hers. Okay, next one. Find a photo of a flag. Any type of flag. This one always seems to be a little more challenging. Yeah. There we go. Right here. Perfect. Wait, what? All right. All right, here we go. I think we have one or two more. I can't remember. And let's find flowers. Ooh, that was fast. Right here, yes.
It's a video.
Okay, it's going to be a surprise if we have another or not, because I can't remember. Yes, okay, let's see. What's next? Ooh, a beach.
Hawaii.
Ooh, I have it back there, yes. Very good.
Y'all went to Honolulu.
Yes, we did this past summer. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, and that was the end. Okay. Yes. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any idea when tropical ecology or tropical biology might be offering?
We're hoping in 2023. Those have been a little bit, because of pandemics and remote areas, they're a little trickier to manage right now, but we're hoping 2023 things are going to look a lot more normal. So, yes, be keeping your eyes out for those, certainly.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So one thing that these students have to do is they have to complete 2 activities during the semester.
Okay.
Activity 1 is already expired,
Okay.
but activity 2 will be due sometime in mid-November.
Oh.
And if you all are okay with it, if you all will visit the Study Abroad office and make an appointment with them, I would count that as your second activity. It's one option. So if you're thinking at all about studying abroad, go make an appointment with these ladies, have a conversation, get evidence that you attended,
Yes.
and then you'll get credit for that activity. So that would be a very easy activity for you to schedule now. I guess they would just go to your website and find contact information.
Yep, studyabroad.usm.edu. As soon as you land on that page, there's a big button that says book an appointment. So you can easily do that. General interest or general advisement would be just fine to book if you're not sure exactly what program you want to schedule one for. And then our building is the International Center, which is like that way, I think. Yes, by the BSU. And we have the red phone booth out front of our building. So we're there on the 4th floor, room 409. Pretty easy to find, I think. So yeah, come by, see us. We'd love to chat and see where we can take you while you're here at USM.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you. I'll just leave that there for you, but it's just
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should I leave any extras?
Maybe just leave one of each for me, and I'll scan them and put them in their canvas shell.
Perfect. That'll be
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Well, that was a fun little game. Yeah. Maybe we'll think of some other games to play. You all seem to like that. So, as opposed to me just sitting up here talking. So, a couple of exciting things happened early this morning. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry was announced. And two folks are jointly sharing this, Ben List from Germany and David McMillan from Princeton University. The exciting thing for me about this is two things. Number one, I've actually dabbled a little bit in the area that the Nobel Prize was awarded. I have certainly not done anything close to Nobel Prize work. They were the real founders, or the ones who established this idea of organocatalysis. And I know that's a term that you're probably not particularly familiar with. But catalysts actually speed up reactions, but not only do they speed up reactions, but they help us control the stereochemistry of a reaction, for example, how the atoms are actually oriented in 3 dimensions, which is very, very important. If you leave with chemistry knowing one thing and one thing only, you need to know that structure, how a molecule is structured, is equal to its function. So you can take the same number of atoms and connect them different ways and get totally different properties. Okay? And you'll learn that throughout the courses as you progress in your curriculum. But these folks developed a way in which they can use an organic molecule, a small organic molecule, to control not only the speed of the reaction, but how the atoms are oriented in 3 dimensions. And this is important for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, in the past, catalysts were things like heavy metals, things like palladium, platinum, rhodium, iridium, all of which are rare and extremely expensive. And oh yeah, by the way, environmentally unfriendly. Organic catalysts, in a lot of the examples that they used, are actually natural products, things that are found in nature. So they're biocompatible, or they're environmentally compatible. And they were able to do that kind of work very well. So that's one reason why this was of interest to me. The second interest for me is the fact that my daughter, my oldest daughter, Johanna, is actually a graduate student at Princeton University and took a class with Dr. McMillan. So I think it's kind of cool that she was taught by a now Nobel laureate. You know, that's kind of cool. And the fact that this, I believe, will be Princeton, believe it or not, this will be Princeton's first Nobel Prize in chemistry. They have a long history of having Nobels, I believe, in physics. But I believe this will be the first time that Princeton University will be, the chemistry department at Princeton will have received a Nobel. So that's pretty important as well. And so every year in this class, we kind of celebrate the Nobel. And it just so happened that the announcement fell on our class day. So I wasn't able to upload information for you to look at. But next week, we'll talk a little bit more about the work of the Nobel laureates, and I'll post that information in for next week. So there's some videos on the Nobel Prize page. You can find out all kinds of information about why they were deemed worthy of the Nobel, and I certainly think it was a good choice for this year's Nobel Prize. The other thing I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about before we call it quits today was your semester by semester guides, which have been graded. Many of you did exactly what I asked, and it was very good. The main issue that I saw was in the prerequisite 2 column. Okay, and so a lot of times either you were getting the wrong course that course was a prerequisite to, or it wasn't complete. Okay, and the number one, of course, was the fact that Chemistry 496, which is your capstone course, does have a couple of prerequisites. One, chemical safety, Chemistry 410, but also, since it's a writing intensive class, English 1 and English 2. So that was the number one issue that I saw in terms of that. If you were to actually plot out, and this is just the chemistry, I've got one of these for biochemistry too, I'm just showing chemistry. If you had to start in college algebra, this is how your courses connect. Okay? This is why I had you go through and list a course and then tell me what it was a prerequisite to. Because you need to see how your ability to get a C or better in a course can impact your entire path to degree here at USM. So this is a piece of software that's called Curricular Analytics. And what you see here are all of the courses that you have to take. Of course, you have to have 124 hours at the moment to get a degree in chemistry. But when you look at that particular plot, okay, it's a little bit of a math question here. Not an arithmetic question, but real mathematics. Where are some bottlenecks, if you will, on this plot? Organic chemistry 2. That's exactly right. And then when I click on that, look at everything that's impacted by Organic 2. Right? Organic 2, you have to complete your Gen Chem, of course, right? You have to complete an Organic 1. But when you get into Organic 2 is a prereq to all of these other things. So as you can imagine, if you don't get a C or better in Organic 2, that's really going to delay your time to degree. Now what I will say is that the chemistry folks, because we've done this curricular analytics thing, we are re-examining our prerequisites for some of our courses, and we plan on minimizing some of those. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're a freshman right now and we go through and we reduce some of those requirements, you can actually opt, when you talk with your advisor, to switch to the new degree plan. It's not available yet. Okay? The earliest it would be available is next year, because of just the way the academic cycle works. Okay, but we are working to think about, is Organic Chemistry 2 really required to go into PChem or to go into Principles of Inorganic Chemistry? We're starting to ask ourselves those questions. And as we start to remove prerequisites, they will appear in a future bulletin. And if you see that bulletin actually would give you a better path to degree, you're more than welcome to switch your degree plan year. Just because you came in the fall of 2021 does not mean you have to stick with the fall of 2021 degree plan. Okay? So next year, if you find that, they've removed some prerequisites, I think this will be better for me. They've changed some of the requirements that I think will be better for me. You can talk with your advisor and you can have your effective degree plan changed.
So it gives you more freedom on what you can choose?
It could, that's right. Again, I don't know exactly what's going to happen because we haven't made those decisions yet, but I'm pushing my chemistry folk, my chemistry colleagues to really think about doing this, because you can see this is a very layered and complex path. So Organic 2 really stuck out to you. Where else do you see some bottlenecking?
Physical chemistry?
Yeah, physical chemistry. Well, a lot of things feed to physical chemistry, right? So when you see a lot of arrows coming into PChem 1, right? And you see a lot of arrows coming into PChem 2, right? So we're also thinking about that. What are the real requirements for physical chemistry? What might it look like if, for example, we just said, to go into physical chemistry 1, maybe you just need Gen Chem and your math. That would look a little bit better, right? For you, so you wouldn't have to go through organic. But you can see your general chemistry is a foundation for a lot of things. Many of you are in that now. Some of you have finished that. we're really thinking that Gen Chem should probably be more of the bottleneck as opposed to some of these later courses as well. You'll see that analytical chemistry, right, also has some complexity to it. Now, if we go back and let's look up a biochem. Let's just stick with college algebra. Okay. Likewise, you see an awful lot of complexity there, right? Where do you see the main areas of difference between the chemistry and the biochemistry degree plan?
Bottlenecks on biology.
Yeah, there's a lot of bottlenecks on biology as well, right? So if you look at all of this complexity, to get into general microbiology, right, you've got to have completed those courses. If you look at the principles of biology, right, that's all going to impact those courses. And these are courses that you might be taking quite early on, right? Again, Organic 2 has some kind of controls kind of some of the flow in a way as well. And so, again, we're thinking about these things. Not that we're going to get rid of any of these requirements in terms of courses. All of these courses are requirements, but imagine if we change to where the prereqs are such that you can, take classes a little bit earlier than what you might have, make that degree plan a little smoother for you. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you in terms of the curriculum, and what I was hoping you all would develop, and many of you did, is a good working semester by semester guide where you know what you're getting into each semester. Okay. The whole idea of you talking about time management was to look at what your curriculum was going to be so you can think about what your time commitments are going to need to be before you get into that. So if you're working a lot of hours in a particular semester, you're really going to have to think about how you manage your time. Okay? I had to work when I was an undergraduate. It was a difficult thing for me, as it is for everybody. I mean, to juggle working, I wasn't working a full-time job, but I was working about 30 hours a week between my work-study job and working at the laboratory. I worked for Environmental Services in Springdale, Arkansas. And I worked there 20 hours a week, plus I did about 10 hours in a work-study job. And I had to. That's what it took for me to get through college. And I know many of you are in that boat as well. And so, but you have to plan out not only your class schedule, but you really have to start to plan out your study schedule. You have to plan out your personal time schedule, when you're going to do laundry. All of that kind of stuff really has to be adequately taken into account, right? Or it's not going to work very, very easily for you. All right. The only other thing that I want to talk about today is study abroad a little bit. Obviously, they've done most of the talking, but what I will say, it is one of the things when I look back on my career in college, when I was in your shoes, it's the one thing that I look back on with regret never having done. I felt like I couldn't do it because I had to work. I felt like I couldn't do it because I had family obligations, et cetera, et cetera. But now that I'm a bit older and I'm looking back and I look on what my daughters have done, I kind of envy that. But my oldest daughter studied abroad in China for 4 or 6 weeks in the summer. I can't remember. Got her Chinese credits or foreign language credits out of the way. Where she went, she had a foreign language requirement. And it was kind of cool following her on her Facebook posts and when she called us and the things that she got to see and do at the same time she was earning college credit. I think, the University of Southern Mississippi, as you heard from them, really invests a lot in not only your education in the classroom, but your education worldwide. And it is definitely an opportunity that I think each and every one of you should consider. Not each and every one of you will find the way to make it work, and I understand that. But I think each and every one of you need to at least sit down and give it 15 minutes of good thought about whether or not you can take advantage of that experience. I don't think you completely can appreciate at the moment how being able to sit in an interview and tell somebody about an experience like that can set you apart from somebody else. Or when you get ready to apply for medical school and they want a personal statement, how that can set you apart from somebody else. And it's because not everybody will do it. You know, everybody's going to be in a class, everybody's going to have a bachelor's degree when you get ready to go on and do those types of things. And so talking about that could be important and could be made very interesting. But I think when you can talk about things that are a little more rare, you really do have solidified the interest of whoever's conducting that interview or talking with you. And I think that goes a long way to get you where you want to be. So remember, if you're thinking about med school, vet school, law school, or if you're just thinking about getting a job when you're done, the things that you do now and build up on your resume are going to be very, very important. We've got the resume assignment coming due pretty soon, I believe Friday, is that right? Are there any questions about that? Well, you got my attention. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a picture of like myself on my resume. Would that be like unprofessional, or is that okay to keep that on there?
So there's a lot of debate about that. Typically in the United States, we do not recommend putting photographs on your resume or your curriculum vitae. If you were to see resumes and CVs from overseas, it is quite common. But in the United States, we typically tell people don't put photographs, don't put family information, but that is definitely a difference between us and the Europeans. I mean, we get European resumes all the time, and they'll have a picture and they'll say married with 3 children, and you know, here we just don't consider that as information that an employer might need to know. So again, it's totally up to you, but my recommendation would be not to do it. I think I saw another hand.
I wasn't here today for the people came in and talked and stuff, but you said something about like a website that help you do it.
Yeah, Career Services has a website with some example resumes on there. So usm.edu/CS, I believe, is where you can go for that. You can watch the video from last week when Career Services was here, and they give that information out. Any other questions? All right. Well, have a great week, and I will. Yes.
Is it okay to do the second ACS meeting as our second activity?
Did you already do an ACS meeting? I would really prefer that you do 2 different activities. If it's all you can do, and you talk to me about it, we could probably make that work. But I really want you to have a little broader experience than just the ACS. I like the ACS student affiliates, but we want you to have more than that. All right, have a good week, everybody.